Next topic is fats. What are fats? Fats are also composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Fats are also composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen as the carbohydrates, similar to the carbohydrates. But here, this content in these nutrients is much less. In fats, the oxygen content is quite less. Okay, it produces more energy than carbohydrates. If there is a 1 mark question which produces more energy, fats or carbohydrates, then the answer is fats. Carbohydrates and fats both are energy giving foods, but fats produce more energy as comparison to carbohydrates. Sources are butter, clarified butter, which is also known as ghee, cheese, paneer, vegetable oil, beef, meat from cow, fish, liver oils are the common foods which are rich in fats. So these are the sources of fats. Composition of fats is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, in which oxygen is quite less. It produces more energy as comparison to carbohydrates, and these are the sources which are rich in fats. Fats and oils are made up of fatty acids and glycerol. Fatty acids and glycerols. Okay, so fats and fatty acids are made up of glycerols. Next, what are the function of fats? What is the need of fats in our body? First of all, it produces energy in the body like carbohydrates. So those who are doing a lot of physical exercise or a lot of physical work, they need energy to do that work, to meet the requirement of energy in their body. So that's why they need fats as well as carbohydrates. And it is also storage form of food. In our body, food is stored in the form of fats. Next, it serves as a solvent for fat soluble vitamins. Some certain vitamins are fat soluble, and it serves as a solvent for fat soluble vitamins. Next, fat under the skin protects. If there is fat under your skin, then what will it do? Fat protects under the skin. Okay, the fat against a rapid loss of heat insulation. Our body also need heat to maintain the temperature of our body, and so that the heat doesn't leave our body, it serves as a insulation. As you know that we also use insulated water bottles in winter, so that there is no loss of heat from the water bottle to the surrounding, and our tea, coffee or hot water remains warm. That's why we use insulated water bottles. Similarly, fats also work the same. It also serves as an insulation, so that the heat from our body doesn't go to the surrounding, and it maintains the temperature of our body. Next is proteins. What are proteins? These are large chemical molecules. Proteins are large chemical molecules. It contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Previously we did fats and carbohydrates, and both of them contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And in fats, oxygen content is less, but in protein there are four chemical compositions: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. And the composition of nitrogen is most essential element in proteins. The nitrogen is the most essential element in protein. So if I ask you a question, what is the most essential element in proteins, then that is nitrogen. And some proteins may also contain sulfur and phosphorus. There are some proteins which contain sulfur as well as phosphorus. Amino acids are the simple units. Okay, amino acids are the simple units of protein. So what are the simple smaller units of protein? These are amino acids. Okay, so now let's move on to the functions, what protein does in our body. In the time of emergency, they may also oxidize to release energy. So in case of emergency, when consider you are in a trouble situation, or you need a lot of energy to scream or to run, or to protect yourself, in that scenario, protein releases emergency hormone which oxidize to release energy. Okay. Pro- Protein also provides chemical material for the growth of our body, for the growth of our nail, hair, and other parts of our body. We need proteins, and it also helps in maintenance and repair of the body cells and tissues. Previously we discussed that there are numerous functions which occur in our body. That's why we need proteins to carry out those functions and for repair and maintenance of cells. What are the sources of protein? There are numerous sources of protein like lean meat, fish, eggs, milk, cheese, nuts, beans, peas, etc. So these all are sources of protein. Let's move on to the deficiency of protein. What is the deficiency of protein? If there is a deficiency of protein in our body, then some certain type of diseases occurs. Number one is kwashiorkor and second is marasmus. These are the two diseases which are caused due to the deficiency of protein in our body. Number one is kwashiorkor, which occurs, it is a severe protein deficiency disease. It occurs due to the deficiency of protein in our body, and it usually affects the young children in our body. It also causes when a lactating mother stop breastfeeding at an early age or child is given a diet poor in protein. Okay, what are the consequences of kwashiorkor? The child may die before the age of 5. So in that scenario, the child may die before the age of 5.